This is the Stubborn German Podcast. I'm Kevin Ostie, coming to you from the Stubborn German Brewing Company in beautiful and fall-esque Waterloo, Illinois.
Fall-esque.
It is. It's a new word.
I like it.
And I'm joined by the proprietor of the Stubborn German Brewing Company, Mr. Chris Rahn.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Dynamite.
Good.
Dynamite. And, of course, we're joined by our esteemed producer, Mr. Jared Chasson.
Good evening.
Good evening, Jared.
Good day.
And a very special guest, a repeat offender here on the Stubborn German Podcast, Mr. Rick Kleinschmidt. Welcome.
Thank you. Repeat offender. I've heard that somewhere before.
I think he's running away with the most frequent guest award.
Oh,
I think so, too.
I think
he
so.
could be.
Yeah, I was wondering if I get a plaque
Yeah.
or something like that
You
at some
know.
point on the wall.
Yeah, at episode 100, you get a plaque.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I got to have something to shoot for.
We don't even have 100.
No, episode 1000, you get a gold watch.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, welcome, everybody. And for those who tune into this podcast every single time, you know that we start this and every episode with a nearly impossible task known as the German word of the day.
It's not impossible. It's been solved plenty of times.
Do we have a scorecard? Do we know?
I
who's-
think you're in the lead with two,
Still?
maybe?
2.5, I believe.
Wow.
Two
and a half
yeah.
wins. Nice. Well, the way this works is we throw out a German word that none of us know, and Chris is exempt for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And the rest of us have to try and guess what the answer to this, what the meaning of this word is, which is revealed at the end of the episode. So,
Kevin, if I wasn't exempt, I would just win every time, right?
well, not being scored and winning are kind of the same
Well, I
because
would.
you never lose. That's the point, right?
Okay, here we go. German word of the day.
All right.
Gehstock.
I'm sorry. Who?
Gehstock.
Guest
Gay,
stock.
gay stalk.
Guest stock. Okay, that's, never mind.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
we
a
like
good
to be
one.
polite on this podcast
We
and
do.
let our repeat guests go first.
Yeah, I expected that to come.
See, our politeness is expected.
And I meant to do some homework and look up some stuff, and I never
Some
did.
You
things.
skipped over
Yeah,
gay stock.
I got,
Yes.
I got busy drinking some beer or doing something. I don't remember what it was. Stock. I guess stock. I'm going to go with
stock.
it is a corn stalk used to make mellow corn.
Oh, very
specifically.
specific.
Corn stalk.
Yep,
used
specifically.
If that isn't the right
Used-
answer, it should be.
It should be.
Yeah.
make
Do they grow it just for mellow corn? That'd be nice.
That's what I understand.
Apparently.
Just the gay stocks.
Yes. I'll go next. Give Kevin a little more time.
Thank you. Prolong my misery.
I'm going to go a little more literal.
Literal.
Guest talker or guest speaker
Oh.
in this case.
Snap.
Guest speaker.
Rick would be our guest stock.
Or Gehstock.
Guest
Okay.
stock.
I could live with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to change your answer, Rick?
You're going to let him do that?
No, of course not. No, I was going to let him go through all the motions of it and then deny him.
Yeah, nice. Because you're exempt.
Yes,
You can do that.
but because I looked it up.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to use my my very amateur German etymology.
Very
And-
amateur.
Oh,
Very.
yeah, extremely. And I believe a gestalt is like a revelation of some sort. So a gestalk is like it's an alert.
Chris making faces over here.
It's an alert.
It
It's
might
an alert.
be close. An alert.
Gehstock is an alert.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, like
I like
you're
that.
driving down the road and it's like gestalk. It's a pumpkin in the road.
Like Achtung.
Well, Achtung, that's attention. You know.
Gehstock.
Yes.
This is
Well,
not
gestalk.
quite
It-
attention,
it's
and
not
it's
quite.
not as revealing
Almost.
as a gestalt.
Achtung.
Right?
Okay.
I didn't write
We'll
this
find
down.
out, right?
If
The
it
answer-
doesn't mean alert, it's going to from now on in my car.
Gestalt.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
All right. The guesses have been tabulated. We'll let
Okay.
you know at the end of the episode.
Stay
The
tuned.
losers have already lost.
Yes.
All right, so there's this is another a great, well-prepared episode with
Thank you.
a very nice list that was created
Thank you.
with Chris and Rick here. So
Yeah. So, we haven't done a podcast in a minute, so I was kind of like, yeah, we have time to podcast. Sometimes we have an idea for a podcast, and sometimes we just know we need a podcast. We don't have an idea.
Yep.
So, and by the way, if you're listening, and you have ideas for a podcast that you'd like to hear about, please feel free to send those in because the well is running dry. But so I decided, well, once we've decided Kevin and Jared and I all could make it, it's like, okay, now we need a guest or a topic or something, and I have nothing.
We need one quick.
We need one quick. And I said, I have it. Rick, can you podcast? He says, yes. And I say, okay, then come up with a topic.
Yeah,
and he delivered, man.
He delivered.
Walking through the store, I get the message. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll be on the podcast. That's a great time. And then I get the next message. Can you come up with a topic? Well, am I supposed to do it all here?
This is no longer fun.
Then it was, can you bring the laptop?
So here I get a message, and it's got 4 or 5 ideas centered, or things centered around one topic, and I'm like, oh, that's great. And without even me saying I like that, he sends another one, a different topic. I'm like, great. And then here comes another one. I haven't said a thing at this point. So he's got like 4 different episodes worth of topics.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Now the topic is, what would a Stubborn German podcast listener request to hear about on a podcast?
That's right.
Because Rick listens to the podcast,
Right.
and so here are his 4 topic ideas.
He stalked it right out at you.
He sure did.
I figured maybe you'd take one of 4. I didn't know all 4 would end up being on.
You know what?
We're
just
desperate for content.
We're going to see where this goes.
Yeah.
No, we're
We
doing
might not make it to all 4.
speed topics here.
What I'm hearing is they needed a guest. They're desperate. And they're like, oh, Rick, he'll just do anything.
Rick will do it.
Yeah, he'll come up with it.
That's not how it worked, Rick. Yes, it was.
Yeah, maybe a little. All right, so everybody wants to know, what are these riveting topics? We could kind of go down the list here.
We could. Let's just start at the first one.
There you go, Chris.
Go ahead, Rick. You wrote it. You read it.
Well, my first one was what is it? Our top 2 beers we're going to miss from summertime.
Yes.
Coming into fall, what am
Yep.
I going to miss about summer beers?
Yep. Okay.
The top 2 beers you're going to miss from summer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are obviously seasonals.
Yes.
I mean, they could be. Like, one of mine is actually always on. I just don't like to drink it in the winter.
Which one?
All right. Interesting.
Waterloo Wheat.
Yeah. That's a summer
Okay.
beer for you.
Yep. The other day, I had a Waterloo Wheat. It was we had a moment, and I said goodbye for the next 4 to 6 months.
Wow.
See you later.
I'll be
Tear
back
with shed.
next spring.
Broke up with the Waterloo Wheat.
But Waterloo Wheat for me is a warm weather beer more often than not.
Okay.
I'm gonna miss it.
I like that.
But-
Well played.
Yeah.
I could see that either way. I could see that being a cold weather beer also.
Yeah.
But
But not
something-
for Rick.
Not for Rick. No. I fully respect that.
I'll go next.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
So one of mine, oddly enough, is the Never Say Never, the sour, the Berliner Weiss that we did.
Interesting.
I was hell-bent against it. Never would make a sour. That's not what we do here. We made it. And it wasn't really like full-on sour, but just a little tart, but just perfect for like really hot summer days.
Yeah.
Just that little tart, like putting a little lemon in
Yeah.
your ice water or whatever. Just kind of had that little extra
Crisp.
something.
Yeah, it wasn't what a lot of people would describe as a sour beer.
No,
in a
and it was-
bad way. It was
Yeah,
good. It's sour in a good
it
way.
It was low ABV. You
Yep.
can drink 10 of them and
Kinda tangy.
without knocking your socks off. And very, very highly carbonated, so really effervescent, really refreshing. I mean, it just kind of went with summer, so that I will miss.
I agree with that one. That was a good beer.
Yeah?
How about you, Kevin?
I tend to put a lot of the Kolsch's in the rearview mirror
Yeah.
at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
That does seem like a summer beer.
It's a lighter, more, floral and kind of fruity. And
Yeah, and I think what I end up doing, is not necessarily going into the seasonals just for the seasons. Like Chris, I'm not the world's biggest, pumpkin ale fan. Even though I loved your Facebook post the other day with the frowny face saying it's okay to pumpkins on. So hurry up.
I allow pumpkin now. Go.
Yeah. You have 9 minutes to drink the pumpkin. It's in down the drain.
You missed it. You missed it.
Right.
I'm sorry.
But I do like, the Oktoberfest style and Stubborn Fest, of course, and getting into something a little bit heavier. It just, in my mind, I equate that with like, it's cooler out. This is fuel.
So that was kind of his 1A to that topic was your top couple beers or reasons that you make you love fall. Like what kind of beers do you like to sit around a campfire?
So you're saying I'm overachieving, and I hit them both on one topic.
You kind of nailed both. Yeah. So
Way to end the podcast early.
yeah, thanks. Now what are we going to talk
I should have
about?
read the email.
Jared, do you have any summer beers?
I
that
do.
are
I don't know if it qualifies as a summer beer, but I feel like you had it this summer. The 3.9 hops IPA.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
I really enjoy that. And
Digging deep in the vault.
Yeah.
I like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not a huge IPA fan, but that was kind of a less hoppy, maybe?
Sure.
Or less
Yeah.
bitter, I guess.
Yeah, definitely less bitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will miss that one this
good,
fall.
because we're not making it
Unless
this
it's
winter.
coming back. Okay.
There you go.
Good. It's a good pick. Number 2. Rick, what do you got?
So my number 2 for the summer beer that I'll miss, I always like the Main Street Helles. When it comes on, it's always hot. It's a good, refreshing beer.
Yeah.
Sit out in the backyard in the shade tree, have a couple of those. So I will miss that one every summer when the heat goes away.
Yeah,
So does the
for
Main
sure.
Street Helles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
My next one would be, and it's not necessarily like a summer beer, but we did have it this past summer. It was low GPA.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Grapefruit beer, Josh Shirley's grapefruit
Yeah.
pale ale, low session pale ale. So we made it in the summer, and it just happened to be a big part of my summer because I had a few of those, and it would be okay in the winter, I guess, but not as effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very refreshing summertime beer.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I kind of move off of the Stub Light in the summertime
Yeah.
towards the fall also.
Stub Light's a good summer. Yeah.
Well, but it's interesting. I've never really considered this topic very well. I just
Sure.
looking at what I would naturally do.
Sure.
And, I think the lighter beers, like you're saying before, with the high carbonation and a lot of that light flavor, the days are longer. A lot of times your drinking time is extended.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
And when it's shorter days and darker out, a lot of times you can get in and get one or two, and that's all the time you have. So I think they gotta bring it a little bit more as far as body and flavor. And
It's an interesting way to think of it. Never really thought of it that way. I like that. Okay.
wow, amazing.
I think of Stub Light as being very grainy. It has
It is,
that
yeah.
bready, grainy flavor to it, which
Yeah.
I really like. Yeah. It was number 3 on my list, but since we're only doing 2, and Kevin already used it, I won't say. The other one was, again, I don't know if this qualifies as summer or not, but Idaho Gem IPA.
Okay.
I will miss that this fall unless you have it.
I hate to break it
in
to you,
the
but
tanks.
we're probably going to make that again in the fall or
That's
this
a bad pick.
winter.
Almost
anyway.
went with Idaho Gem
Yeah.
IPA because it was on early in the summer
Yeah,
this
right.
year, but it didn't. It just got nudged out.
We made it a couple times in the summer.
Yeah, I think you did, yeah.
Yep.
So it's coming back?
I mean, I really like that beer, so
It
we're
is,
probably
right?
going
That's
to
good.
put that on a
Okay.
fairly heavy rotation until people just get sick of it.
For a guy who claims
I don't
to
see it.
not be an IPA
I
fan,
know.
you got
It's
two
weird.
IPAs in the can.
Two
I
of
know.
them.
IPAs I'm an IPA guy.
Yeah.
Dual Lipas.
Next thing you know, you're going to be drinking stouts.
That's right. Maybe.
So,
Yeah.
so what kind of fall beers are you guys into?
So for fall beers, I'm going to work backwards this time and go from my number 2 favorite fall beer that I look forward to. I'm going to give Shits and Giggles an honorable mention because it's on year round,
Yes.
but I
Yeah.
don't drink it much in the summer.
Sure.
But in the fall, I start bringing it out around the campfires, and that one gets in. But that's just my honorable mention. It didn't make the top 2.
Such
Yeah.
a such a
didn't.
good beer.
Yeah, it really is. I couldn't leave it off.
So what made the top
so
two?
yes, let's go to
Actual
number
top
2.
two.
Sorry, number 2 I look forward to is the May the Schwartz be with you.
And also with you.
Thank you. It's just too smooth.
With your spirit. I'm not really sure what we do these days.
I was trying to think of that. I was like, it's been a while since I've been to Mass. What am I supposed to say here? But I love May the Schwartz be with you. It's just very smooth, very easy to drink. I can sit down, if there's come in after work, grab a couple of them. They're not going to knock my socks off, and I'll know where they are in the morning. And it's
your
just
socks
easy to
went.
drink when it's a nice, chilly evening. I love it.
Yeah. Good deal.
Well, I kind of revealed the first one, which was the Stubborn Fest. I also am a big Shits and Giggles fan, but I'm actually going to say I dig the Waterloo wheat in the wintertime. I dig a wheat beer in the wintertime, and I think part of it is because I do suffer from seasonally affected disorder, and to see a nice, tall, golden glass with an orange slice in it, that's a happy time right there. That's sunny.
Lets you start to turn that corner, huh?
Yeah.
Like it's time to start thinking about the next season.
Well, you do what you got to do, but it's that's kind of a reminder of summer to me, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
If it puts a smile on your face, go for it.
That's it.
Me?
Chris?
Am I up?
Yeah,
I
you're
think so.
I want to rock.
Oh, okay.
No, I just want to rock.
Yeah.
It's been here for a little while, though, right? But that is a fall beer, right?
Going on about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not that long.
Okay.
Well, couple 2-3.
We'll let it slide.
Couple 2-3.
Couple 2-3.
Couple 2-3
of
weeks.
2-3 over by there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a love it or hate it beer, and we don't even make a full batch of it because there are people that just hate it, and it's like it'll be on forever if we make a full batch, and So we're moving through it this year. This year's is a lot lighter. I think last year's kind of got away from us a little bit. It was like 6% alcohol. I think this one's only like 4.5%. So it's a little more
rock light.
drinkable. Yeah,
I want to rock light.
I want to lightly rock.
I want a soft rock. I want a yacht rock. Describe this beer. I have not had that. Describe this beer.
It's I should have done that. It's a German smoked beer. So basically, it's an Oktoberfest or a Märzen recipe, and then they take a portion of that Pilsner malt out and they put in this smoked, usually beechwood smoked malt.
Interesting.
Yeah, to give it just a little bit. So, and you can vary that percentage of smoke in the beer.
Sure.
There's a traditional one from Bamberg, Germany, Schlenkerla, and it's very, very, very smoky. It's almost too smoky for me, and I love smoked beers and smoked things, meats and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's very smoky. This one is, I would say, more like a PG-13 version of a smoked beer. So,
On a
Yeah.
sidebar there, you mentioned that you don't even do a full batch of it.
yeah.
And I was finishing up listening to Brent's podcast, and their batches compared to yours. What is a full batch versus how many kegs you get out of a half of a batch here?
We get 6 half barrels out of a batch, a full batch. That we made 4 instead of 6.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it.
That sounds like a good sipper and
yeah.
not like an all-day drinking beer.
So what I have been doing now that it is kind of fire pit weather, and we've had 3 or 4, I think, at our place already. I'll start with 1 or 2 of those as the fire's going, kind of smelling the smoke, and then after a while, you just kind of like, oh, it's just a fire, and then you switch to whatever. But I kind of start with that for some reason. I don't know.
A good fire pit, pretty much everything tastes like smoke anyway.
Yes,
So.
yeah. Even your regular beers to start tasting smoky. So yeah. Jared, do you have any other?
Well, I do. I think it's too obvious to even put on my list, but of course, Stubbornfest. We all like Stubbornfest. It's a year-round,
That was
so
too
it doesn't
obvious,
even count
Jared.
as a fall
Yeah,
beer, but
what
it's an
else you got?
Oktoberfest. So I got deer beer. I am looking forward to some
good
deer
one.
beer.
Ooh. Deer beer, yes.
Guess what's being
Can't
made
wait.
this Friday?
Really?
Deer beer.
All right.
Yep, it
Can't
is
wait.
time.
Tis the season.
Tis the season to drink deer beer.
Yep.
And
Always
I
a favorite.
I just looked up at right there behind us. May the Schwartz be with
Yep,
you. Is
that's
in
right
the
there.
Being
Yeah.
made tomorrow.
Tank right
actually.
now.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
By,
like
by
it.
the way, that Saved by the Belgian,
Yes.
everything about that is awesome.
That's a good look.
But you
Name,
haven't
the
even
logo.
tasted the beer yet.
No,
right?
no.
Jeremy,
that's-
okay, so little sidetrack here. We're going to go off Rick's list, but
Well, this is going to bring it right back to it, but that's okay.
usually Jeremy will give me and him a sample of whatever's in the Bright Tank right before we keg it. We always taste through and make sure it's up to standards, all that good stuff. So usually it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock during the day, in the morning. So I'll just take a sip and kind of go, okay, yep, flavors are there. Don't taste anything off. Gets the thumbs up. Let's press on. I tasted the Saved by the Belgian today, and I drank the whole sample cup. I was like, well, I'll put this one away.
It's a good one, huh?
Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
I've been waiting for that one
It's
to move to
interesting.
the Bright Tank
Yeah.
and then on to the taps. I'm excited.
When we're done recording here, or we could take a pause. I mean,
There you
that's
go.
your call.
It is right behind me.
I don't know if Jared knows how to do that or not.
It will come back to that.
Okay.
Rick, what's your number one?
We're
I
back
guess?
to me. Number one beer for me in the wintertime, I love it for multiple reasons, is Bean Tree Coffee Stout.
Yeah.
The number one reason I love it is it means Thanksgiving is coming.
Yes.
And I love everything Thanksgiving. I love the food. I love the family. I love the Black Beer Friday. So that's when I come in here, Black Beer Friday at 6 a.m. I have me a couple Two Tree at the Bean Tree Stouts before I move on to something else. So when I see Bean Tree in the tanks, I know winter and Thanksgiving are right around the corner.
They're coming up. That's right. Awesome. Very cool.
That is, and then not to ramble on too much, but Bean Tree Stout's the reason I have my smoker at the house.
Oh.
On Black Beer Friday, came up here, had a couple 2 Tree of those, and then we went shopping in St. Louis, and I came home with a great smoker.
That's awesome.
Inspired. Nice.
Yes. Are you adept at smoking?
Certain things, yes, sir.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
I can hold my own.
Bring him into the next podcast.
That's actually a good idea.
There you go.
The whole Bluetooth deal and all that on your smoker?
Yeah. I don't need to walk out to do temperature checks. I just check the phone.
He's smoking meat right now.
He is. His pants just buzzed. His meat is smoked.
Oh, look, my meat is smoked.
Gestalt, my meat is smoked.
Yes. That's fantastic.
October.
Chris, what is your
I
next
have one more.
choice of fall?
Dark Waterloo Wheat.
Oh, dark. Okay.
Dark Waterloo Wheat, even since I've homebrewed, I've always made a Dunkelweizen, and that is the beer that I take with me trick-or-treating with the kids. Kids are a little old to be trick-or-treating.
It's Waterloo.
They may
I
still.
love it. Yeah.
But,
Friends, another reason to come to Waterloo. That's a thing here.
Trick-or-treating? Yeah.
No, picking the right beer to go with your trick-or-treating experience.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if the kids have aged out or not.
It's a holiday for all to enjoy.
Yeah. I have a feeling we'll still have a little festivities on Halloween, and
sure.
I guarantee you Dark Waterloo Wheat will be included in mine.
Nice.
Love that.
Kevin, what about you?
Well, I thought I kind of gave two.
Maybe.
I did say the Waterloo Wheat.
Oh, you did.
Was
Okay.
an unusual choice for the wintertime, but that's just the way I
He's
am.
out of fall beers.
He
all right?
is. Well, I'm going to pivot a little because the email said top 3 beers/reasons. Doesn't have to
Reasons?
be a beer.
Oh, boy,
And I'm going to
I didn't
say
look that far into it.
I look forward to a Kentucky hug in the fall. In parentheses,
That's
any good bourbon.
Acceptable. That is acceptable
Yeah.
deviation
That
from
is
the West.
what I will call omniseasonally for me.
See,
That
it doesn't take fall, but I like it more when there's a little crisp breeze in the air. So
Pana-season.
yeah,
Yeah, you're sitting around the campfire, wood. You know the smoke's getting or the fire's getting down a little. A good Kentucky hug warm you right.
that's
up.
right. Yep.
Mine is just a campfire in general. It's when it's not so hot where you've got bugs attacking you. It's time to go out and have a campfire. That's my
For sure.
That's my fall jam right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it is nice. 100%.
All right, moving on to a completely new topic. What do we got, Chris? Number 2 on your
Okay.
list of topics.
Number 2 that Rick came up with, it says a segment on stubborn swag that fans are clamoring for.
Okay.
One or two, a couple ideas from each of us on like what kind of different stubborn German logoed items that we think people might want that just aren't available yet. And
This is kind of tricky because
Rick says this is also his way to lobby Tammy for some things that
I
he
thought
wants.
that was you saying that, Chris.
No, no,
okay.
this was all
Okay.
him.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I've been waiting for my chance to secretly lobby Tammy. It's not such a secret now.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, what are you clamoring for over there?
Yeah, because I don't really have much, so go ahead.
So what I really think that what I hear from the customers when I'm behind the bar is they have a strong desire for fitted hats that are not the trucker
Fitted,
style.
yeah.
Because the
your
follically
snapback.
challenged among us can't wear the stubborn German hats in the summer out of fear that their head's going to get sunburned.
Okay.
So you get
Okay.
a fitted stubborn German cap,
Yep.
and on the back, so that way if they want to, turn the cap around, you have the stubborn German guy right there. So the front is just a regular stubborn German
logo,
hat.
yep.
And then right in the back of the fitted hat, you've got the angry
The guy who
stubborn
still doesn't have a
stubborn
name.
German.
the dude.
It's
Yeah,
not
he
a
does-
terrible
still doesn't have
idea.
a name.
That's
He
a good
doesn't need
idea.
a name.
Yeah.
Apparently does
Yeah.
not.
Nameless.
So that way, whether you rock it forward or backwards,
Okay.
you've got Stubborn German logo on the front
We're
and the
still-
German guy on the back.
Always advertising.
Always
I like it.
representing.
I like it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, we'll get that to the
Interesting.
hat department immediately.
That's right.
Yeah, dig that.
That's an
The
easy one.
fans, the Stubborn German fans would greatly appreciate it.
Would they?
Yeah.
The only one that I came up with was actually last night after I'd kind of thought about these for a minute. I happened to be scrolling on Facebook, and Wilderness Trail Distillery had a picture of I guess a guy just made like a nice walking stick, like a you know people make their own walking stick. It's a crazy looking odd bends in this stick, and they put some kind of lacquer over the top, and that's their walking stick. Well, he took a Wilderness Trail cork and put it in the tops,
Okay.
but it got me thinking like we should have like a brand, like burn our logo into the top of a walking stick. So
Or a tap handle.
we could do a tap handle too, or a walking stick tap handle.
That's what I'm saying.
like a
Right.
6 foot long tap
Right,
handle.
exactly. A tap handle on the end, but it's a walking stick.
Then when you need a beer, you don't even have to get up to pull the tap handle. You're 6 feet away.
The top would have
Little
like
hook on it.
an
Yeah.
8-foot throw on it.
Okay. Walking
Yeah, that would be
sticks.
fun.
Okay.
So yeah, look for
Interesting.
the Stubborn German walking sticks
coming soon.
I mean, for Christmas. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then after
Now Tammy's going to be
on
upset.
your, on your way out to the car from Black Beer Friday, it can steady you.
For sure. It's functional. Yeah.
It's like a
Or
cane.
on your
cane.
on your way to the Uber,
Like
a
after
walker.
Black Beer Friday, it can steady your gate.
Well,
Steady
I
your
know, gate, door, fence, whatever you need. I would like to see a Stubborn German podcast T-shirt,
All right.
but that's just me.
That would be nice, actually.
I think it would be pretty cool. I think there's 4 of us here that might
Yeah.
buy one. in
Well,
total,
definitely
so-
get one.
Sell at least 4.
There you go.
I was thinking, I saw somebody wearing like a performance fleece, kind of a hunting jacket, sort of olive green with like the shoulders have the
Oh, yeah.
camo or,
Yes.
grass kind of,
Yeah.
and just put that with a nice orange Stubborn German on the chest.
I could
That
get
would
down
look
with
pretty
that.
cool. Little
Okay.
Zip up fleece.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Be similar to the kind of fall jacket you guys had several years back. Because
Yeah.
I got one of those. And-
Yeah, we've done different jacket
Yeah.
orders.
I like
through
that
the
a
years,
lot.
But yeah, we could go camo for
People
sure.
love fleeces.
Yeah.
They love camo and they love Stubborn German.
Goes with your deer beer.
We could do a vest, like a
vest,
life,
there you
life
go.
jacket, kind of
Yeah.
like a vest thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
High vis.
High vis, yes.
Marty McFly style.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Right. What are you, just jump ship?
Dork thinks he's going to drown.
That's an underused word these days. Is dork. Thanks for bringing that back.
Yeah, that's
There's
good.
Jared bringing dork.
I do that a lot.
Oh man. Well, another item that may have already happened that I just wasn't aware of that I think would be pretty cool would be an enameled Stubborn German pin.
Keep that idea handy because it's in the works.
Okay.
Man,
Nice.
look at that.
Look at
Kid's
you,
got
Kevin.
his thumb on the
right.
pulse.
Yep.
Because with the German style hat,
Yeah.
you could stick that
So
right to your
we
head.
get
Yeah, you
100,
could
100
put
people
pins.
asking
Yeah.
about those at Stubborn
For
Fest
sure,
every year.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, all right, we just need to look into this and make it happen. So
Nice.
it's not really our territory or our department. We just don't really.
Yeah.
When do you have to buy pins for anything? But we're on it.
Okay. Good
I
to
like
know.
it.
Awesome.
The other big one that I get a lot of questions about, I think the people amongst us would love to see beer logo themed shirts. Personally,
Yeah.
I would
Oh, like
love to
a-
have a hip check Pilsner to wear
Okay.
during hockey season.
Well, that would have to be a
interesting.
jersey, right?
Yeah,
I
there
would
you
go
go.
for a jersey,
Yeah.
but I would take a T-shirt also.
Okay.
And my other thought
that's a good
was
idea.
if you paired some of the really kick-ass logos with the beer release, and I'm
Yeah.
going to use this as a perfect example right here. This, if you put this "Saved by a Belgian"
With a
on a
shirt.
shirt
For sure.
on the day you
Yeah,
release that beer,
right.
oh man, people I think it would go like crazy.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
idea. Yeah, and then Chris could sign them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Chris could sign them all. He'd have to be here.
Right?
We could get.
Yeah.
He'd have to be here.
Be here.
He'd have to actually be here.
On the release day, sign them all.
Ouch.
He'd be here.
He'd have to even be here when we're open.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I didn't mean it to be quite so funny, but I
No, but
Jared-
it works pretty well.
Jared,
It
let's
is.
let's cut that out.
Yeah. I'll
About
cut that
20
out.
seconds
Don't
before
worry,
right
Chris.
now.
I
Cut
got
that
you.
all out. Okay.
got you.
but I get
All right.
lots of.
So let's start over, guys. Okay. So yeah, the Saved by the Belgian T-shirt idea. That'd be really good, guys.
it comes with a imprinted Chris Ron signature on it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you do. You just pre-print them, and then you don't have to be here.
You can get. We'll just make
I'll
it part
cut that
of
out,
the
too.
T-shirt. Clip all this out. And on second thought, let's start over.
Yeah.
On third thought, let's find a different guest.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure I just got fired.
That's better than my great pumpkin jumpsuit that I wanted, But
I'm not getting a plaque on the wall for return guest.
No,
I'm getting a boot
Yeah.
out the door.
He made it 7 episodes. That's pretty good.
well, okay, but what you just touched on there, it's kind of a not necessarily swag, but something that might be kind of neat. Also, is current episode signage.
Yeah.
A little topic.
Oh, current episode.
Current episode of the
current-
Stubborn German podcast features Chris in a jumpsuit or
Very
whatnot.
much. You'd sell a lot of those, I think.
Yeah. So I'd
I'm
have
not
to
saying you'd
get
sell
in
the
it.
sign, but
Oh,
just as
right.
a service to the,
Yes.
the
I'm
patrons, they
confused.
could look at the wall and go, "Oh, the current
Yeah.
podcast has this. I want to listen to that."
Sounds like.
That's a good idea, actually. At least put the topic
Oh.
up,
Right,
like
yeah,
this
yeah.
week's podcast is.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But I get all kinds of, like I love the hip check and the Blitzkrieg, and this Saved by the Bell logo is
Yeah.
awesome.
The
But there's-
Belgian.
Saved by the Belgian. I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry. But yeah, I
We're
mean,
gonna
all
have
kinds
to
of
clip
people
that
are.
off.
You guys make gin now?
Yeah.
Now let's see. You have the
That'll be
alt
Stumpy's
beer
Saved by the
T-shirt, so that's
Belgian.
one. That's really
Yeah.
the
Saved
by
only
the
one,
Belgian.
right?
Well, and like a couple, like Josh, the bartender Josh, he's got a Shits and Giggles shirt.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Michael,
really?
which one is Michael's got
Is it a
one that?
bootleg? Is it like a?
No, it's from when originally
They
there
did
was.
this before. Okay.
He just
Yeah.
like saves his shirts and then
Yeah, and he's and
doesn't
then,
grow out of them like other people.
I mean, they don't shrink.
Right? Yeah. That's what I mean.
That's happens to my shirts. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they'll
Shrinks
shrinkage.
so much.
I think an old Ledger or a Stub Light or Stubborn Fest, you could make a good looking shirt out of those.
Yeah.
I think.
You just about every one of
Yeah,
those
really,
make
yeah,
great
that's
shirt.
true.
Okay. Well, we'll get the shirt department on those.
I'm sure
It's a
they'll
good
be
idea.
happy
It's
for
a
the
good
Coming
idea.
additional
soon
workload.
to a shirt shelf near you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, depending on when this episode airs, we don't really plan these things out. We don't know. We do have an event coming up. We've touched on it already.
We do.
Black Beer Friday is around the corner.
Already again.
Yes.
Well, this is
And,
the number 3.
This is the number 3.
Did you get the
This is
segue?
the number
Smooth.
3. Yeah.
Well, I know, yeah. I was trying to be
He's
subtle here.
transitioning right
Oh,
into
sorry.
it.
I was wondering what people are going to think when in 10 minutes we say here's number 4 and they'll say
Yes.
what was number 3?
Sorry, I should have announced. The
I was
number
going to
that we
let
were
Jared.
on.
I was going to let his transition go, and then later on call him out for stealing it.
Trying to be professional here.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us what's on the list
No,
here.
can you
number
tell
3.
me about number 3?
Let's see.
Now I'm over it.
We want to talk about the best beers and things to drink on Thanksgiving,
Yes.
and what you like when you're prepping
what
the
kind of
food.
Yeah,
what
like-
does that mean? I mean,
yeah.
like what kind of drinks?
Yeah,
Cooking
like when
and
you're
eating.
when you're
Yeah.
the night before, or 2-3
We'll
nights
talk
before.
about it. Go for it.
Well, like I like to do a fried turkey. I love
Okay.
a deep fried turkey.
Yep.
And so when I'm prepping the turkey, usually it's whiskey or bourbon of some sort.
Okay.
But then if I'm working through the sides or some of that kind of stuff, which my wife's
It's
going to
still
laugh when I
bourbon.
say that I prep anything other than the turkey. No, I usually go with wine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
fine.
know. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah.
We'll let it slide.
Yeah, but it's okay.
You are fired anyway, so it's
It
fine.
doesn't really matter. I'm
you're
playing with
already
house
fired.
money at this point.
Well, he's just kind of sucking up to the wine bar now.
Yeah, we like the wine
yeah,
bar.
I got to go work
needs a
somewhere.
They are hiring a bartender, I think. But okay, some wine with your with the sides. Is that what you said, or with
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
Okay.
Like when I'm thinking,
Yep.
getting stuff ready for that, I'm usually drinking the wine and
yeah.
Green
the-
beans and Pinot.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, I want to
Green
survey
Pinot.
the table here. When you're eating, you're sitting down at Thanksgiving dinner with your family.
Yes.
What are you drinking?
My alcoholic beverages at Thanksgiving start and end with wild turkey. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Of
'Cause
course.
it's
fairly.
It's a
Yeah, I was
theme.
gonna say he's on theme for
He
the
dropped
day.
the mic, folks.
I did drop the
I
mic.
muted it.
Yeah.
Kevin, what about you?
I tend to do a variety. With the meal, I do like a lager.
Okay.
It just seems to go with potatoes and kind of a heavier,
Yeah.
meal. It's good. It's after dinner, I will certainly enjoy some bourbon.
Wild turkey?
Could be.
I mean, it's kinda
this
gotta be.
year for sure.
Maybe some rare breed this year.
Yeah.
See, I'm the guy that walks in Thanksgiving and go, look, I brought the turkey.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
He is
Yep,
that guy.
All right.
I am that
All
guy.
right.
So that's my deal.
Okay. Rick, what do you eat or drink while eating your turkey dinner?
It's usually going to be, well, because I wake up and have a Bean Tree coffee stout, to get the day flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're pre-gaming. So, yep.
It's
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
it's
Day.
fine.
All bets
It's
are off.
all
you know?
good, yep.
Yeah. And then a little bit of bourbon and whiskey as we're prepping and frying the turkey is mandatory. And usually when I'm eating, I'm going with some red wine again. Yeah.
I'm apparently the outlier here. I'm super boring. When I'm actually eating dinner,
If you say water,
I'm
you're
drinking
fired.
water.
You're drinking
it's
water?
But now I know, that's not the move. I want to enjoy the food. The water's just there to, get it down. And then I'll drink some beer or bourbon around all sides
You
of
think
it.
Are
you
you
know
one
a
of those,
guy?
I
one of those
know.
Yeah.
people that does it bother you if the food touches?
Maybe.
That's a yes.
I
Anyway.
have 7 plates.
I knew it.
Well, now
Yeah.
I know
Nothing may
that it's
touch.
acceptable to drink wild turkey with my dinner. So, okay.
For sure. You can
Why
have a
would it
shot
not-
glass
it's
of wild turkey
Thanksgiving.
You're right.
and a glass of
It
beer.
seems so obvious
And
now.
a water there also.
What are you
Okay.
thankful for? The Kentucky Sour Mash method, of course.
Yes, exactly. All right. Okay. I'll bet a lot of our listeners are drinking water with
Well, I
their...
mean, I've got
I doubt
water.
it.
You doubt it?
I doubt it.
I don't know.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm drinking water all throughout the day.
That's
but
kind of a given, yeah. I don't know.
yeah, that's just
See, I'm the other way. I'm drinking other stuff throughout the day and then water with
right.
my meal. But
All
I'm
right,
boring, I
you-
guess.
Okay, here, let's do this. If you're listening to this right now and you drink water with your meal at Thanksgiving, only water, no alcoholic beverages at all, just water, send us an email,
Please do.
stubborngermanbrewing@gmail.com. Just send it right in.
Okay.
What do you want it to say?
Wait, I'll be waiting.
I'll be waiting.
Right at
Don't
the
hold your
laptop
breath.
with a cold
Hey.
water.
I'm going to change this year.
Okay.
And you know what else I'm going to change? I've never been to Black Bear Friday.
What?
I
Never?
want you guys to hold me accountable and make sure I go.
done.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you there.
But what's it like? I've never been.
I have, but not from the early beginning.
Okay.
I've been there later.
Yeah.
So I have done the show up, be in line, one of the first, dozen, 20 people in the door. And then I have also come later in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock and missed that 7 or that 6 a.m. through the door excitement. And the being there as you walk in the door is worth it.
Yeah.
So when I wake up
Okay.
at 5 or 4:30, it's painful. And then I stand out in the cold and I say mean things to my
Also
wife
painful,
and my
yep.
brother and sister-in-law that like to come with us.
Right.
And then but as soon as we walk in the door, I'm like, this was totally worth it.
Nice, yeah.
It's a great environment. It's so much fun. The band's playing when you walk in. Everybody's behind the bar, got a smile on their face. They got the pre-poured flights. They got of course, as I've mentioned, the Bean Tree Coffee Stout. There's the people here. Everybody, a lot of people will bring breakfast casseroles and they'll have food. And you don't even have to know them. If you
Yeah.
they'll give it out to you. They're like, oh, you look hungry, my friend. And they'll just give you some. And
You
it's just-
look drunk, my friend. Here's
Yeah,
some
it's
breakfast
just-
casserole.
it's-
Right.
it's-
I rarely get the, you look hungry.
Yeah, I do too.
You'll
Yeah,
make
that's-
all kinds of instant friends. It's
Yeah.
so much fun. So that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. And I've been here and showed up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. One year we did that, and that was fun also because you kind of miss the if you don't like it shoulder to shoulder,
Yeah.
elbow to elbow people. Then that's a good way to go because most of the beers nothing has usually tapped
Yeah,
out
it's-
by then.
It's usually after lunchtime
Yeah.
before the first keg of anything kicks.
So you can still
Yeah.
get all the
Yeah.
dark beers and miss a little bit of the chaos if you're not a chaos
Yeah.
person.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going this year.
But I've never
What time?
showed up after noon.
I mean, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go early. I'm
go
going to
early?
shoot for...
Come with us this
Yeah.
year because
we
I
could
hope
podcast from outside.
That might be a good idea.
That wouldn't be brutal at
Stay
all.
tuned to the Stubborn German Podcast, where we podcast from 10-degree weather
Yes.
out front.
Oh,
'cause
gosh.
I won't mention any names, but if they're listening right now, my brother and my sister-in-law missed last year, and they said it was going to be a one-time miss.
Oh,
It's a good
The
thing we
other-
don't know who they are because you didn't mention any names.
The other day, I got a text message that said it might be a 2-year. And so my wife and I were very unhappy with that. But we could replace You
hey,
could replace
you know.
them, Jared. You could join our crew.
I'm ready.
There you go.
I'm ready.
We've got sweatshirts and everything.
Now, we had, I believe, from what I understand, you had a repeat first in line winner like every year until
last year.
year.
Yeah.
Brian Dell was always
Yep.
first in line. So now,
These guys came.
are you going to have a new winner?
the day before? Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Wow.
Yep. They just camped out. It was awesome.
Did they come from far?
They did.
Slovenia or
Slovenia. Yep. Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Right outside of Slovenia. The next
Right.
country to
Slovenia
the left.
adjacent?
Whatever
Next
that
one
is.
to the left. Depends which way you're
Slovenia
looking.
Heights.
West Slovenia,
All
actually.
right. Wow.
Well,
cool.
I'm looking forward to it. And,
Yes, it's gonna be
I
great.
think it's going to be good.
We got the beers rolling, so we're ready.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ready.
It's a super exciting, fun day. If you haven't done it, it's fun. Whether you show up early or you come later, it's just fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Number 4.
This one's a controversial topic.
It's gonna be. This is why we
Oh,
saved this
yeah.
for last.
Yeah.
Okay, Rick literally writes, "I have an idea," and it has like a GIF on what, a guy's brain
Yeah,
exploding.
because I love
and
gifts. I can't send messages without them.
It says, "What about a beer calendar?" Well, we discussed the pluses and minuses of the brewery creating a beer calendar on the website. It'll tell you what's on tap right now, which we already have, Rick.
Well, you know,
How long have you worked
he
here?
wants a predictive.
Did you know
Yeah.
we even had a website?
I'd never been to it, to be honest.
Oh, man.
If I needed information, I just come to the brewery. I never
Yeah.
actually considered going online. Yeah, so I'm sitting around. I'm like, some of my favorite breweries out of state or just out of the area. I'll go and look. Like, hey, I'm going to Wisconsin. The big
Yeah.
one, is a New Glarus, and whenever I head up there, I'm like, I got to get some stuff. And they got a great brew calendar. Tells you what's on tap and in the stores a lot. And I'm like, Stubborn needs one of those. So I was just throwing out ideas. Like I said, I didn't think they were all going to stick. And so it was just, brainstorming out like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent that message out and I said, yeah, what's on tap? What's coming up? And then I'm like, I better check the website. And I went and I looked and I was like, oh no, it's already on the website.
Oh, I let Tammy know right away.
Yeah.
Look what this guy came up with.
waiting for the ridicule to start ever since then.
The website has what's currently on tap.
It has
Yes.
what's currently on tap. And I was actually, we were talking because we were very upset earlier. We have since calmed down.
Oh man.
No, not really. But I was like, well, I can't really let anyone know what's coming up other than writing it on the tanks because number one, I don't know if the beers are going to turn out or not. If they aren't up to standards, we may either dump it. We may, who knows? You can blend it with something. You can, there's lots of different options if things aren't exactly the way you want.
Well,
But
and-
and if you have it out there, like, this is going to be on in 2
Coming on
weeks.
Tuesday.
And as
Yeah.
the idea man, my only job was to come up with ideas, not actually consider what works about it or what doesn't. Which we should talk about the minuses of my.
Well, here's the
All right,
minuses,
so I got
buddy.
I got
Let's
one.
take a
Full of
list. Rick.
minuses.
First one is we already do it.
I got
Second
one.
one?
I would say that there shouldn't be any type of even listing of what's current on the website. Take it off.
Take it off. All right,
completely. And
that'll make
and,
Tammy's job a lot easier.
and the
She
and the
spent
calendar.
a lot of time on it.
The calendar going forward, I would not do that either. And here's why. If I love coming here and seeing what's available.
Yeah.
Right, and if I'm the kind of guy who I have my couple favorite beers and I look at their website and go, those two aren't on, so I'm just not going to go.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't cool.
You think it might make
It's
people
not cool.
not even show up?
Right, because there's a chance that it might be there, and if I get here and it's not here, I'm already here, and it's my opportunity to try something else.
I would think though
Yeah.
that if that was that important to somebody, they're going to call and just ask the bartender, and they're going to be
People don't call anymore.
like, every once in a while the
do,
phone
you get,
will
they?
ring.
do you get calls?
The phone rings and it says spam.
And I will say, when that phone rings,
You run.
nobody's excited to answer it.
Yeah.
Because it's Chris.
Somebody wants to know how long till May the Schwartz be with you is on
Saying,
tap.
Rick, we already do this, right?
Yeah.
So that would be my thing. It's an opportunity
That's not a bad idea.
to kind of sway people away from coming in because they're like, the thing I really like isn't there. And
in general, I would agree with you, but as big of a beer nerd as I am, I always check websites and
Yeah.
stuff too when I go to a different brewery, especially one that I don't go to often.
I think that's the thing. People that aren't necessarily
Yeah.
familiar, they want to know what kind of beer do they have there.
I wouldn't say take the beer styles off, but I just would take that this is on tap right now. I would take that off.
Gotcha.
I would say that
Yeah.
we've brewed this. We brew these
Yeah.
are what we brew.
Yeah.
Come in and see what we got now.
Within reason, it should be on.
Now, this kind of flies in the face of what Kevin just said, and I don't even know if legally you are allowed to do this, but I thought it'd be nice to know what's in the bottle shop right now. So that when I get the itch to come get whatever, I
think
know if you have it.
We're
But
able to do that. So
like
the
Kevin
best,
said, then
I'm on
it
Kevin's
might keep
side
me
on the
away
bottle
if I
shop.
know you don't have something. So, yeah.
Because a lot of times I just want to go check out what's at
Yeah.
the bottle shop or a liquor store, and I don't want to know what's there before I get there.
yeah, it's
It
more
is
fun
nice
to
to
just
see it,
window,
yes.
window shop.
Right. Yeah, I just want a window shop.
How many people have driven past a Krispy Kreme because the hot light sign was not on?
That's a shame.
I didn't know
true.
people went when the hot light sign isn't on.
That's what I'm saying, right?
It might as well. It might as
exactly.
well say closed.
Right.
I thought that's what it meant.
Yeah. So
Other than that, would be pretty difficult to maintain and keep it because we're constantly adding and things are
right.
going on.
I figured that would be
That'd be
logistically tough. but-
yeah,
And I mean, when I had the idea, I thought, I'm like, I bet you it's just a logistical nightmare. And then I discovered
yeah.
on the website that the menu's on there, and I almost didn't come out of shame.
yeah.
We almost didn't have you
Well,
out of shame.
You were kind of late, and I was kind of thinking, like, man, he must
he
really be embarrassed. He should be, but he must be.
He must actually be embarrassed.
It
No.
had something to do with it. I'll
To be fair, I probably knew at some point, but I forgot that stuff was on your site.
Oh God.
But what is impressive, actually, is the actual printed out paper list that you guys have all throughout the brewery is always up to date.
Yeah, that's
How
always
often do you
good.
print that out? Every week? Or
every
what?
week. Yeah.
We try to keep up with it. So, like the very first page is usually every single week. That's got all the beers listed on it. But the ones after that are the mixed drinks. They don't change that often. The wines don't change. The ciders don't change. The bourbon list will change.
Yeah, I noticed the bourbon list on there too. Like, I mean, trying to get my job back. When I went to the website and I looked at it, I just was looking at it saying, man, this is a lot of work to
yeah.
actually
Oh, yeah,
keep
that
this
is.
up to date. Thank
Yeah.
goodness somebody is on it.
Right?
Wow.
So-
you know what, Rick? You can come to work tomorrow. Actually, I don't want to work tomorrow, so you can.
Actually, I am on the schedule tomorrow.
Oh, are you really?
do you know how to
Well, then I will
sign
see you
Chris
here.
Ron? Because then you can come back. So I have a quick question about the printed menus.
Yeah.
That's an interesting paper layout. You've got these
Yeah.
cascading different lengths of paper. Do you guys do you cut that stuff, or do you,
We have our friends at K&D do that.
so they'll cut your
Yeah.
reams of different lengths of paper, and then do they print them over there
They're
too?
pros. They print them, they cut them, and then
They do all the work.
we have to stack them and sort them or whatever, put them in there. But
Gotcha. Interesting.
yeah, it works well. So yeah, like the bourbon menus and all that. We reprint those maybe every 4-ish weeks, just when they get kind of gross, and you reprint them.
Yeah.
Which
People
the last
spill
couple
on 'em
weeks they've been kind of gross because we've had some festivals, but yeah. So
We can recap, right? We don't have to talk about what's coming. We can talk about what
Yeah,
you just
we
did.
sure can.
We just had Stubborn Fest.
we did. We had Stubberfest, and then we had Pumpkin Fest 2 weeks after
Right.
that, and
Yeah.
both were huge crowds.
Yep.
Huge crowds. Awesome.
Okay.
It was so fun to see everybody, and
Went off without a hitch.
yeah, Stubborn Fest was great. It was amazing. It was the perfect weather.
Yep.
You
both
couldn't
days.
have dialed it
Yeah.
up any better. It was
Yeah.
great.
It was beautiful, and yeah, the bands were amazing. Everyone had a great time. No issues.
Plenty
no,
of food.
No nothing. Yeah, good.
Yep.
Plenty of good food. Plenty of good beer. Didn't run out of any beer that I know.
Yeah, I missed it.
of. Kevin,
I know.
wasn't gonna say anything.
Sucked. I got called out of town.
I
The whole
even
event
Yeah.
schedule
reserved
shifted.
a table for you to stand on.
Again. There's pictures of that from someone at one point. Yeah, I was looking longingly at my phone of the photo coverage from Pomona, California, going, "Oh man, does this suck?"
Probably worse places to be than.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying there's anything horrible about that, but it wasn't this.
Yeah, I got you.
It wasn't this. So I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that it was.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
big
Yeah, there was
success
good.
again.
There was good crowds. People were having a great time. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. Yep.
Yeah, it's even fun to work it. Like it really is. It's fun. You're busy. You don't really get to take a break or anything like that. But it's just fun.
Right. Yeah.
You got to hold it all night.
kind of got to hold it.
You know, you're
breaks.
not supposed to drink beer while you're working the Stubborn Fest, and they don't want you to drink any water either, so it doesn't become a problem.
Yeah, that's true. No water, no beer.
It's
no
not like
nothing.
a
It's
Jared
not like Thanksgiving dinner.
Right. Sorry. You know what
Let
I do
the
at
water
Stubborn
flow.
Fest? I
I'm
just
sorry,
drink
Jared.
water at
Where's the
Stubborn
turkeys?
Fest.
I had to set you up for that one. It was too easy.
Thanks.
Nice teed off.
Great.
I didn't miss it. I did come up for Pumpkin Fest just a little bit. My daughter and I came up and we did a lap around. It was pretty chilly.
It was,
There
yeah.
was still a big crowd.
It was breezy. It was a little chilly, but yeah, the crowd was huge. We sold so many mixed drinks off of the front patio, and it's so funny how it works. We usually have a hot drink, and then we'll do Bloody Marys, and then we do the just peachy, which is those are both cold drinks. But it's so funny. Like the very first one is the very first drink to go is the hot drink, and then in that order, then the Bloody Marys,
Yeah.
and then the next drink, and then people start drinking beer after that. So. Like, you got to have it all, but
Yeah.
that was fun too. That was really fun because there was only one bar to set up instead of like 5
Of course. Yeah.
at Stubborn Fest. Yeah.
Much quicker setup and setup and takedown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Good crowd though. It's fun to see everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like, and maybe it was the weather, this year there was maybe less vendors, like people selling their stuff.
I don't know. I don't really get to walk around that
Yeah.
much.
I thought I saw that all the vendor spots were sold out again
Were
this
they?
year. Yeah.
I feel
every
like
one
a
of them.
couple of years ago, I mean, that wasn't even a thing at Pumpkin Fest. I
Right.
feel like they didn't do
Yeah.
all that. And
Yep.
suddenly they did. And I feel like last year, the year before, it was just crazy. Vendors everywhere. Maybe I just had higher expectations. It just didn't seem like there were as many. But, I mean, not in a bad way. There were still tons of
Jared
people
wants more
out there selling-
vendors. Not enough for Jared.
I'm not saying that. It was fine.
Yeah, so
But,
if you sell pumpkin-related
right.
stuff,
Yeah.
break it down.
There was
Or
some cool stuff for
specialty
sale. yeah.
water for
Right.
Thanksgiving.
If you got any good Thanksgiving
Turkey
water for sale, turkey water.
Water with tryptophan,
All right.
Puts you right to sleep.
sleepy juice.
Wild Water 101.
Yes.
We could make that. I think we could make alcoholic turkey water
Yeah, I'm sure. It's
for Jared.
I was on an episode of Seinfeld. Well, no, it was Alcoholic Chicken. That's
Yes, right. Nice.
I'm going to get wasted at Thanksgiving this year and blame you guys.
Look what you did.
That's funny.
He'll be drunk out of shame.
Yes.
That's great.
Well, so that's the thoughts on the beer calendar. You
Yeah.
never said, Chris, your opposition to the whole thing. Opposition to opposition.
I think
guess.
I'm talked out of it, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's just not going to happen.
So there you go. There's your answer.
Hey, not all ideas are good ideas.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the
That one-
logos on the tanks of what's coming up, so
Yep.
we do kind of have that.
And the beer calendar went south real fast as soon as the words came out of my mouth and into the email and hit the send button. The whole idea just turned south immediately
Yeah,
when I got the
yeah.
response from Chris. Have you seen our website? ...
Yes.
Which is why you're here today.
Which is, in Chris fashion, he had to still make this a topic to berate you publicly.
I mean, I had it coming, but at least it's no public berating like water
Yeah.
at dinner at Thanksgiving.
That's true. It'll never be that.
That's
No.
right.
Well, it was a bad idea, but the best idea Chris has ever had was the German word of the day
Jeez, Jared.
on this
Speaking
very
of
podcast.
segues, okay.
Yes.
The German word of the day was Gestock.
Right.
Stock.
Gestock. Jared thought it meant a guest speaker.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Actually, not bad at all.
Rick said a cornstalk used to make mellow corn.
Very specific.
Yes.
Wonder what he was thinking. Kevin said it means alert.
Of some sort.
Some
It's
sort.
very close, but a Gehstock actually means a walking stick. Like a stubborn
Okay.
German Gehstock.
Man, that's coming. You know he's
That
going to
is
sell
coming
those here.
in the gift shop.
Wow. Did he plan this
Near
in
to you.
advance?
I will sell
Gestock.
Gehstocks in
Nice.
the.
That was impressive. So you
Yes.
you planned that out.
I planted
Thinking of the
my
swag.
own German word of the day
Yeah.
inside the
In
episode.
the
Here, I
topic,
thought I was the
yeah.
one lobbying
Yeah.
Tammy for
Yeah.
specific swag, and
It's
now
a
it turns out it's
Puzzle
Chris.
Yeah.
in
No.
an enigma
Right.
in a
It's
ship
like
in a bottle.
It's like watching a Matt Damon movie.
It kind of is. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm just as
Yes.
let down.
World.
Nope.
Well, this was a lot of fun. contrary to what I just said. No, it was great. I enjoyed this. This was a great idea. I like that idea of reaching out to listener topics, and I appreciate it, Rick, that you went through all that, because a lot of times when you solicit topics from people, it's like crickets. So it was cool that you came up with all that good stuff too.
It takes
Topics
some effort.
near and dear to my heart. None of them are just thought of. I thought, I put some thought into it.
You did. It was kind of a nice view from behind the bar.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I'm serious. If anyone listening has other ideas or topics that they want covered, bring them on.
Yeah, send an email or a Facebook message
we'll
or
sit you
whatever.
in here and berate you in public too.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I have one suggestion.
definitely will.
Check the website first and see what's on there.
No one's ever going to do that now.
You won't find all of the
We spoiled
podcast
that.
topics going forward on the website, for sure. Maybe next year on that one.
Yes.
Have you guys ever thought about putting your hours of operation on the website?
Oh my gosh, that's such a
great
good
idea.
idea. We should do that.
You guys remember my old friend Jared?
Remember when I was invited to Black Beer Friday with Rick?
Yeah, now
Right.
it's
Not anymore.
Blackwater Friday.
All right.
Well, this has been the Stubborn German podcast. We know you enjoyed this, so why not get it sent to your email inbox automatically? Hit that subscribe button. And I know Jared was saying how they don't make enough stars for the review, but we'll be happy with 5. That's all you need. Just click the 5 thing. And commentary is always welcome on the Facebook page or to the email address that Chris requested before for anybody who only drinks water at Thanksgiving. So for
I'm waiting.
Mr. Rick
Still waiting.
Kleinschmidt and Mr. Jared Chasson and Mr. Chris Ron, I'm Kevin Ostie saying
Prost.
You got your word of the day?
Of course I do.
Okay.
I even know how to say it.
oh boy.
We're going to do episode 1 if you're following along with the email, which I'm sure you all are.
Of course.
Right.
Apparently, I wrote that email.
There was an email.
There was.
We are recording.
Okay.
All right.
Legal disclaimer.